Well, hello there, fellow geeks and geekettes. Welcome to yet another video. Today I want to talk about a character that has been very close to my heart since my childhood. I was exposed to this particular character first when I was a little kid, in the form of a movie. It was Conan the Barbarian with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I grew up with films starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, The Terminator, Predator, Commando, Conan, so on and so forth. And I instantly fell in love with the character and with the premise. Then, of course, as I grew older, I discovered it was the Dark Horse comics first, or was it the original novellas and short stories, mainly short stories, by Robert E. Howard. I think I read a couple of the short stories by Robert E. Howard first, and then I read a couple of trades at the time published by Dark Horse Comics. Because first, since I believe it was the 1960s or the 1970s, Marvel had the rights to publish comics about Conan the Barbarian. Then it was acquired by Dark Horse Comics for some time, for about 10-15 years, I believe. And then it was just 2 years ago, I believe, a year ago, 2 years ago, Marvel got their rights back and started writing and publishing Conan stories again. Now, the original Marvel years of Conan the Barbarian are, of course, cult classic, and there is no doubt about that. There were actually a couple of titles. There was Conan the Barbarian, the Savage Sword of Conan, King Conan, I believe. Then, there were other characters from the Conan universe, such as Red Sonja and so forth. So, so on and so forth. Then when it got to Dark Horse, it became a bit more modern, obviously, and there were some, of course, more modern takes on the character, and I liked that as well. For the most part, the stories were really good. Sometimes they even got a cover drawn by Simon Bisley, which, show me anything drawn by Simon Bisley and you have my money. So that was good. And then, just before Marvel started publishing their new modern Conan stuff, they of course announced the fact that they would start publishing Conan, and I was both excited and frightened, because I love Conan the Barbarian, as I love all fantasy, be it high fantasy or sword and sorcery, such as Conan is. I absolutely adore the original material. I've got the entire completed collection written by Robert E. Howard. But I was also very frightened because I know what modern comic books published by Marvel Comics are like. That they are not good. Sorry, or that they are not really for a type of person that I am. They're not really written for me. For a man, a white man in his late 20s, right? So I said to myself, alright, I'll give it a try. It's Conan the Barbarian. I'll give it a try. If I don't like it, I don't really need to read it, right? And it was actually one of the very few titles I got in floppies, in the single issues at the time. And in the physical form, I got up to issue 6. So here they are. So this is Conan the Barbarian. And the covers, by the way, they are beautiful. Yeah, well, they are cool. But there are better covers of something slightly different, and I'll get to that later. This is, I think, a variant cover, because the normal one wasn't available anymore. So this is the first one. This is issue 2. This is issue 3. That's a good cover. This is issue 4. This is issue 5. And issue 6. So it was written by Jason Aaron and mostly illustrated by a guy And on the variant editions, there are no names. Fascinating. So it was written by Jason Aaron and illustrated by Mahmoud Asrar. I'm sorry for butchering your name. Then up until issue 3, then it was issue 4 was illustrated by Gerardo Zaffino. So it was a fill-in, I think, and then Mahmoud Asrar again. Now, as I said, it was the first title after a very long time that I read in singles, which means that I waited for a month, for another issue. Me being from the Czech Republic, I received the issues a bit later, so that's why I stopped ordering these floppies at issue 6 and started reading it digitally, because me being from the Czech Republic, the issues came much later than they came out in the United States and the UK. So that's the first issue, and the moment I opened the book, I got excited, because it started with the sentence, with the narrative that the movie, which I saw when I was a little kid with Arnold Schwarzenegger, starts with, and many of the novellas, all the complete collections of the short stories by Robert E. Howard start with. And I also read it out in my head in the voice of the guy who narrated the film. It starts. It looks like this, right? It starts. Know, O prince, that between the years when the oceans drank Atlantis, and the gleaming cities, and the years of the rise of the sons of Arius, there was an age undreamed of, when shining kingdoms lay spread across the world like blue mantles beneath the stars. Hither came Conan the Cimmerian, black-haired, sullen-eyed, sword in hand, a thief, a reaver, a slayer, with gigantic melancholies and gigantic mirth, to tread the jeweled thrones of the earth under his sandaled feet. Oh boy! And on the second and third page, the narrative continues, and you've got a collage of the art from the original Marvel years. I got goosebumps. I have goosebumps right now. It was an exciting beginning. I was like, oh, it's so great. It's such a pity you're going to mess it up soon. That's what I thought back then, right? And then you've got Conan the Barbarian, the life and death of Conan. The big logo with all the people. And then it starts with, Conan sitting on his throne. Old King Conan. Reminiscing on his, years of being young and strong. And it starts with Conan being in a fight pit, fighting other gladiator types people. And I was like, oh my god, it's like from the film! And then you've got a beautiful lady there, drawn as a beautiful lady. Like, I was like, oh my god, this. And the fighting continues. I can't show you all the pictures, but the copyright thing. And the lady looks attractive, and she bets her money on Conan that he will win the fight in the fighting pit. He wins, obviously. He enjoys his drink, and she is flirting with him. And then they do some things, and then she turns into a witch, and just at the not really appropriate moment in the bed. And he's like, Crumbs! What? Crumbs teeth. Crumbs teeth! A witch! And oh Jesus! And then a blackout and cut, and Conan wakes on a table, a table of stone, like an altar, and there's an evil witch that has a very long monologue, and he is telling him that she captured him for his blood, for his warrior blood, because she needs to summon her, an old blood demon, Razazel, archdemon of the Elder Night, the glorious and fearsome Red Rod of Doom. She wants to summon these demons, summon this old god, but for this she needs a blood of a strong warrior. The stronger the warrior is, the better. And the more the warrior escapes death during his life, the stronger his blood becomes, right? And because Conan slew many a warrior and won many a battle, his blood is strong indeed. So, she wants to sacrifice him. And the first issue jumps here and there from his youth to the situation at the altar to Conan's elder years at the, when he was king. So, and it's all action-packed, and it's all awesome, and it's all fantastic, and these two little kids are the ones who capture him. So chronologically, I think that the moment on the altar is the latest that happens. Yeah. And they capture him. They capture Conan, the two little kids, because they work for the witch that wants to sacrifice Conan, right? Yeah, there we go. Right there. And from here on, and you've got at the end you've got a short novella of in 12 parts, and in each and every issue you've got one part. Written by John C. Hocking, just a writing with no pictures, which I liked as well. So, and then you've got advertisement for the next issue, and for another series that was about to start coming out at the time. So you've got the first issue, and then from this point on, you basically had the comic book issues divided into two parts. One, or the first part, was quite episodic, so in each and every issue you had an episode from the life of Conan the Barbarian when he was young. So he saved a village from some mean creatures, or some monsters, or some huge snakes, right? In the other one, he was a pirate on a ship, defeated some monsters again. In the third one, there was they wanted to crucify him or hang him on a tree, and they couldn't because the branch broke, and everybody was excited and frightened. Episodes from Conan's life as it was written by Robert T. Howard. So that's what I liked about it. And the second part in each and every issue, there's the giant snake that he was fighting in issue 2, by the way. And the second part was the continuous story about him being captured and almost sacrificed by the witch. So I got to issue 6, then I switched to digital, read 2 more issues, and then for some reason I stopped. I know that 2 trades are already out, so I will get them and finish the story, because I don't know if it still continues, or has it been cancelled. I hope not. So I'll get the 2 trades and then see if they might even collect it in an oversized hardcover or something. But my original point is that the 7 or 8 or 9 issues that I did read, they weren't bad. Yes, there was one thing that one of my favorite YouTubers on YouTube, Rorschach, he doesn't like that about the modern title, and that's the fact that Conan doesn't really get too many women in the books. It's just the modern way of writing. I believe Jason Aaron, if he could write the way he truly wants, I think that the title would be even better, and that the Conan would be the good old Conan that we know and love from the age of Robert T. Howard and Arnold Schwarzenegger, and even Dark Horse Comics. Conan would be a strong fighter. He would be very, fierce, cursing Krom all the time, defeating everybody, being a masculine hero, and at the same time getting all the chicks. In today's comics, you can't write Conan that way, or at least the last or the latest part that I was talking about. No. He wouldn't be allowed to do that for obvious socio-political reasons, right? I'm sorry. It's just, I know something about the difficulties of publishing. He just wouldn't publish the book. So you have to really make certain sacrifices if you want to publish these days. And I have to give the credit, really, a huge credit to Jason Aaron for being able to write such a great Conan stories with what he really could or was allowed to write and publish. The art wasn't bad. It differed. It seemed to me that there were good days and bad days of the illustrator, but yeah. All in all, I really did enjoy the stories. They were action-packed. There was Conan. He was strong, muscular. He was fighting people. He was drinking, eating, and the female part. Yes, I did miss it as well. The damsel in distress that Conan would save, and then he would, get some with her. That I missed as well. But then again, if I really want to read about Conan, doing with some women, I could read the older stuff, so you have to make sacrifices these days. Then there was another series, and there was the Savage Sword of Conan, which also originally came in the original Marvel years, and they started publishing it as well. And the covers, at least the covers, are much better than in the regular Conan. Look at that! Look at these covers. Oh, freaking chrome! Yeah, so I intend to trade them as well. And that was written by Jerry Duggan. And I read some of these, and I can't remember. I just really can't remember what they were about, really, if they were good. So I intend to reread The Savage Sword of Conan and then do a separate review about that. So, the conclusion is, from what I've read, the Conan the Barbarian by Jason Aaron is good. It's very good, and I do recommend you read it. You will miss one significant part from Conan's life, and that's the women. You will miss it sorely. But the rest isn't bad. The rest is very good, and I only do recommend it. So get the trades, get the singles if you want them, and you will not regret it. Yeah, so that's it. What do you think, my friends? Have you read Conan the Barbarian by Jason Aaron? Did you like it or not? Do you agree with me? Have you also missed the female aspect of the stories, the damsel in distress? Or do you prefer Conan the Barbarian without the female aspect, the gorgeous female aspect? Well, what do you think? Express your own opinion in the comment section down below, and of course do not forget to dislike this video if you don't like it, or like this video if you like it. Subscribe to this unimportant channel of an unimportant geek talking about unimportant things. And with this, I'll say goodbye to you, my friends. May Crom be with you. Bye-bye.